It's not uncommon for us to be out here on 33rd and Grand Avenue talking about traffic, but last night a man killed a father, a husband, a grandfather, and the suspected drunk driver being processed for DUI. Though the new tariffs may not affect local growers or markets like Summer's Fruit Barn, many others in the produce industry are bracing for potential price hikes. Behind me is Camelback Mountain, one of Phoenix's most iconic hikes. With rising temperatures and a surge in rescues, first responders are asking hikers to think before they make the climb. Experts say dimly lit and isolated places like this are the prime spot for assaults to happen. That's why drivers should always have their keys out ready to go and avoid distractions. They should also listen to their instincts and call the police if they think it's necessary. A routine pickup here at Freedom Elementary School turned to panic. A fight, a gun, and 4 arrests made. Now one parent telling us the school should have gone into lockdown. The credit was set up in 1998, and today it has funneled hundreds of millions of dollars to Arizona charities and schools, raising about $109 million each year. You can donate to organizations like foster cares and charities. Produce is already feeling the strain, with avocados and tomatoes among the items seeing price hikes, and experts say these increases will likely continue. Emily Pike was just 14 years old when she went missing from a group home in Mesa. Nearly 2 weeks later, and 75 miles away, here on East 60 near Globe, her remains were left in trash bags. 9 months later, investigators still have not found her killer.
She was thrown to the wayside like she was trash, like she didn't matter. But she did matter. She does matter.
Allred Pike Jr. says his niece, Emily, still matters.
And we weren't able to save her. So now she's out there doing what we couldn't. She's saving people. She's raising awareness.
When Emily went missing, no alert went out because many missing people, including some teens and adults, don't qualify for existing alerts. Until now, Emily's family pushed lawmakers to close the gap. In May 2025, Arizona passed Emily's Law, creating the Turquoise Alert System. It went live just 2 months later in July.
The Turquoise Alert System is a system used for missing and endangered persons that are under the age of 65. So essentially people that fall outside that Amber Alert or our Safe Alert.
It's not only for Indigenous people. It goes out for people under 65 whose disappearance is suspicious and they may be in danger. And it only goes out after law enforcement has exhausted local resources.
And the whole reason that the Turquoise Alert System is working is because there were people that fell through a loophole. They didn't fit the criteria for the Amber Alert or for other alerts. And so the Turquoise Alert makes a huge difference.
Community advocates like Mary Kim Titla say that Emily's story is part of a much larger pattern, one that demands attention and action.
With this system, so many families can at least have some hope that their loved one will be found.
Since its July launch, the Department of Public Safety issued 3 turquoise alerts. All 3 missing people have been found safe.
It has been proven to be very successful in locating endangered and vulnerable, marginalized population.
In Emily's hometown of Peridot, Arizona, Allred says that Emily's still making a difference.
We just pray that it does make a difference and that law does save kids or missing Indigenous people.
The Turquoise Alert can't bring Emily back, but her family believes it can bring other missing people home and protect those that would fall through the cracks.
She's making a difference, and we just need to catch this person or these persons so they won't do it again. We can at least do that. You know, we owe her that.
Emily Fox-Millian, Cronkite News. Cars lined up early at the free Shred-a-thon event hosted by the Arizona Attorney General's Office and AARP Arizona. Residents dropped off boxes of personal documents, hoping to keep their sensitive information out of the wrong hands.
So we just want to make sure that we try to protect our identities as much as possible, and the best way to do it is by shredding the documents.
The Federal Trade Commission reports identity theft is more common with Arizonans aged 30 to 39, but it's the older residents, ages 70 to 79, who lose the most money to fraud. Experts say scams are becoming more sophisticated, making prevention more important than ever.
Lots of times there are phishing scams that are just trying to get people to share information. It can look like an email from your bank or from from someone you know, but the effect is just wanting to gather up as much identifiable information as they can.
For many residents, shredding these documents isn't just about security, it's about peace of mind.
I'm terrified. I know people that have had it happen, so.
Cheryl, who asked us not to use her last name because she is concerned about identity theft, says she has thankfully not been affected by fraud, but she is still taking every step to avoid becoming a victim herself.
When you own a home and you own cars and you have retirement accounts and stuff, you know, you just have to protect it.
Identity theft can happen to anyone. In fact, in 2023, the FTC says Americans lost $10 billion in fraud, mostly due to imposter scams. Experts recommend shredding old bank statements, medical records, and anything with personal details. They also warn against sharing information over the phone or online.
Come here.
Meet Boba, a rescue pup, getting ready for his close-up. His photos will soon hit Instagram, where a single post can mean going home. But not every dog is ready for adoption right out of the frame. Groups like Freedom Frenchie Rescue, where Boba is staying, often take in dogs with serious medical needs, sharing their stories online as they heal and wait.
Some up for adoption, some are, in the middle, getting vetted, things like that. Some of them have serious medical conditions.
The same is true at the Arizona Humane Society, and it's a full house.
We take in those cases that need some medical help before they can be ready for adoption. It sounds very niche, but we're actually on track to take in 25,000 pets this year.
With numbers like that, space fills fast. Statewide, shelters take in more dogs and cats than they can adopt out. Arizona shelters take in about 40,000 more cats and dogs than they can adopt every year, according to the national database Shelter Animals Count, meaning some pets won't survive. That's why shelters use every tool they have to find homes, including social media, where the algorithm might just be a pet's best friend.
Before these pets meet their forever families, they meet the camera. And shelters say that just one post at the perfect time can be the reason a face like this goes from the screen to a sofa.
And it works.
In the 6 years, 300 dogs have all been adopted through me, from being photographed and then adopted right away.
Dog photographer Kimberly Carrillo volunteers her time to help rescue dogs shine.
Very specific on how I like them. Like eye contact, ears up, because that's what everybody wants to see.
And for many animals, that personality pop is what gets them noticed.
I think the best part about what we do on social media is when we see a comment on a post that we've done and it says, "Oh my gosh, I'm coming to get this pet right now."
And for Boba, who's still waiting, they hope a perfect picture could mean a happy home. In Phoenix, Emily Fox-Million, Cronkite News.
Could Arizona residents be in the driver's seat when it comes to new traffic laws? It looks like they just might, but it's a little unclear. What started as a legal battle in Page, Arizona, now has significant implications for Arizona cities. An Arizona Supreme Court ruling has confirmed that Arizona locals can change traffic laws. And get this, they can even block new projects. Take Page, for example, where the city recently tried to narrow a 4-lane street down to just 2, saying it could provide more opportunities for parking and sidewalks. When the people disagreed, they used a ballot measure to try to block the project. And when lower court said nothing could be done, the case went to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court ruled in favor of the people. Citizens can propose legislative changes, which means their ideas for change must go to the ballot for a vote. Now, Arizona residents might be able to use their new ballot initiative to challenge other road or infrastructure projects. For example, residents can propose to get rid of the reverse lanes on 7th Street and Avenue known to cause many accidents. Some officials are concerned and have said that this could set a precedent for citizens changing legislation in the works. For more on this story and others, visit Arizona Horizon on YouTube or azpbs.org. Should political donations be shared to the public or should they be kept quiet? That debate is playing out in Arizona as Proposition 211 faces a challenge at the state Supreme Court. In 2022, Arizona voters passed Prop 211. The idea was simple: shed light on quote-unquote dark money used in elections. Supporters say that it keeps politics transparent and requires big spenders to disclose their big donors. But opponents of 211 see it differently. They argue that forcing donor disclosures raises concerns about privacy and free speech. They also argue that it can prevent people from donating at all. Here's how it works. If a group spends over $50,000 on a statewide race or $25,000 locally, they have to disclose anyone who gave them more than $5,000. Donors even get a notice and can opt out of having their money used for politics. Oversight goes to the Clean Elections Commission.
And that's part of the controversy. Lawmakers say the commission was given too much independence, what they call a super agency with powers that cut the legislature out. They say that violates Arizona's separation of powers.
Backers say that voters just wanted transparency and that the commission is just carrying out the will of the people.
But challengers argue that the law will not work at all if parts of it are unconstitutional. That fight is now in front of the Arizona Supreme Court.
For more on this story and others, visit AZPBS Now on YouTube or visit our website at azpbs.org. When are you supposed to go to the ER?
And when are you supposed to go to urgent care?
Why is it important to know the difference?
You don't want to spend more time and money somewhere you don't have to, especially when you're not feeling well.
Plus, it can also be a strain on the ER's resources if you go there when you only need to go to urgent care.
Do you know where you would go if you were experiencing a fever, cough, nausea, and vomiting? Urgent care. Those are flu-like symptoms which can be diagnosed and probably treated at urgent care.
Yes, but pay attention to the way you feel. If you start having muscle cramps and are very thirsty, go to the ER. That's dehydration, which is dangerous. The rule of thumb is that whenever you're experiencing life-threatening conditions, it's time to go to the ER. Think difficulty breathing, severe bleeding, and allergic reactions.
When you're experiencing non-life-threatening conditions like sprains, colds, and burns, then take a trip to urgent care.
Let's do one more example. Where would you go if you sprained your wrist?
That's right, urgent care again. But what would you do if you broke your bone?
Tell us in the comments. Would you go to the ER or would you go to urgent care?
For more on this story and others, visit AZPBS Now on YouTube or on our website at azpbs.org.